Coming up in the news, police officials giving tips on what you should do to keep your children safe.
Children must be made aware that they are not supposed to go into any home or vehicle.
Also, police out and about on the first island-wide road check for the year. And a man accused of murder sentenced today after pleading guilty to another charge. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Wolf-Farkas, and as always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, quick action by police yesterday resulting in a suspected child predator being taken into custody. The arrest coming after the alleged suspect tried to lure two female students into his vehicle, one from the Walter Barker Primary School on Wednesday, and then another from Hugh Campbell Primary School on Thursday of this week. Inquiries revealed that it was the school's crossing guard who became suspicious upon seeing the child following the suspected predator. The crossing guard then intervened when the child confirmed that she did not know the suspect. Officers of the Northeastern and Central Division were then called, which resulted in the arrest of the female in the Wrexham Drive area. The suspect's silver-colored Chevy Cavalier vehicle was also confiscated at this time. Tonight, officer in charge of the Northeastern Division and press liaison officer, Superintendent Teresita Pinder, is making an appeal to other students who may have been approached by the suspect to come forward.
We are asking for persons who may have any information about any other matter or incident related to this matter that was not brought to the police attention or was not reported to police to contact the Criminal Investigation Department at telephone numbers 350-3106-12 or 911-919 or call your nearest police station.
The two attempted abductions occurred outside public schools in the Freeport area. These incidents have forced schools to beef up security measures throughout the district. Tonight, Italia Hall tells us that some private institutions have redoubled their efforts to ensure that students are protected.
Schools are in high alert following the two attempted abductions outside two public institutions on Grand Bahama. Principal of Tabernacle Baptist Academy, Ashel Bain, calls it a very scary situation.
Something like that actually happened here in the Bahamas. I mean, you know, we hear it a lot overseas, but for it to come so close to home is very, very disturbing.
She says a security guard is always in place on the grounds at Tabernacle.
He checks with cars as they come through. Parents are not allowed, no one is allowed to go to our classrooms for any reason, and they have to come to the office, have to say what is the reason for coming, and we had a discussion about it. Of course, we have people that come in and say parents sent them to collect their kids, and instead of just getting the children, we call the parents ourselves to find out, to make sure that this is who you sent to collect your child.
Principal of the Bishop Michael Eldon High School, Sophia Howden, says the school has a secure system in place to keep students safe since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Currently, our dismissal procedure is one in which our children are not allowed outside in the yard after the afternoon dismissal bell. The children remain in their classrooms, and as their parents arrive on campus, we use walkie-talkies to radio their names to the office, and the office then announces the student's name on the PA system. That student then leaves their homeroom and walks directly to their parents' car.
Now, Grand Bahama Academy is just a few feet away from the Maurice-Moore Primary School, where one of the incidents took place. Principal Jeffrey Jervis says he and his staff are disturbed.
It's so unfortunate that this is happening during this time, and so it really got us to look at how we are operating our school to make sure that our students are safe. So what we've done is we've looked at how we can increase the presence of our adults on campus, safety personnel, looking at teachers who are assigned to walk the yard to ensure our students are safe. But we also have in place, we have a new intercom system where students are dropped off at specific times, and at the end of the day, the students are not allowed to leave their class until they're called by the person at the gate to notify that the ride has arrived.
Now, while a suspect has been arrested in connection with the matter, these principals say this is something that they are still very concerned about, and no school should take it lightly.
We need to be vigilant. We need to continue to do what we can as if it were our own kids.
We want all of our children in Grand Bahama to be safe. And that includes the children at Bishop Michael Ellen School, as well as the children at all of our other schools. They're all of our children. And so we're quite concerned about that situation. And we hope that additional measures will be taken at all schools to ensure that our children are kept safe.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, officers of the Sexual Crime Unit says that it is vitally important for all students to be aware of stranger danger. The officer in charge is giving these tips to parents to help keep their children safe. Here's the report. The news shocked the island of Grand Bahama after many residents heard that there was a possible child abductor on the loose. But even though a suspect is in custody, officer in charge of the Sexual Crimes Unit, Inspector Latoya Roll, says parents should never let their guards down. And this latest incident is just a reminder why conversations on stranger danger should be ongoing.
Children must be made aware that they are not supposed to go into any home or vehicle or to any area with any strangers, not to give out their telephone contacts, their address, or any personal information to any strangers. They must tell someone when someone is who they perceive to be a stranger is harassing them.
But these types of conversations are never easy. Inspector Roll adds that this is why parents must also ensure that their kids are comfortable enough to speak with them.
We find that sometimes parents are shunning the children and they are not comfortable in coming to speak to them. Some things may be going on, and because the parents don't create a comfortable environment, then the children are reluctant to speak. So parents, we cannot overemphasize the importance of speaking to your children.
They also advise that students are picked up immediately after school and should not be allowed to hang out in the schoolyard for a prolonged period.
If the children are participating in some extracurricular activities, you want to confirm with the teachers that the time the event will be over, and you want to be there in place to collect your child or send a responsible adult to collect them on your behalf. If someone is picking up the child must be aware of who is picking them up. If it takes sending a message to the office, informing someone from the office team that a particular party is picking up the child, that child should be informed.
And this is the majority rule holiday weekend, and road safety is a big concern. This morning, officers in the Northern District of the Royal Bahamas Police Force conducting their first island-wide road check for the year. Officer in charge of the traffic division telling our Megan Shepard that the initiative is all in an effort to protect the motoring public.
It has become a very familiar sight on the island of Grand Bahama. Numerous police road checks at various locations on any given day. The officer in charge of the traffic division, Superintendent Jeremy Henfield, says that the island-wide road check initiative comes after a number of traffic fatalities were recorded in 2020.
This is of grave concern to us, that we are losing too many persons to our streets. Within the last five fatalities, I think we have lost 5 young men, all under the age of 30 years of old. And so this morning, this is serious matter. And so we are out here not just for the pump and the pamperage and all that. We're here with serious business to say to our motoring public that we need you to slow down, because speed kills. And so this operation again is throughout, not just here in Grand Bahama, but also Bimini and Abaco, all going on simultaneously.
And when you do pass through a road check, Superintendent Henfield says you must have some important documents in your possession.
We're still in the emergency orders, COVID-19 regulations now, and so With that still in place, licensing for vehicles have been extended. That is still in place. And so what we require for you once you're on the street, for those persons who are using the extension and not licensing their vehicles, we expect you to have your insurance coverage. We expect you to have with you a identification, your driver's license. We need that. As you know, that is a new amendment. And so we ask you to have these documents on you, even the papers for your vehicle. Have them on you, have them ready. If the officer needs them, be able to inspect them, and then you will be on your way.
Now, many residents have voiced their concerns and frustrations regarding the frequent road checks. Superintendent Henfield is asking for the motoring public's patience as these initiatives have proven to be successful.
I ask you to bear with us. We are doing what we know to do. We have been doing this for a while. The police force has been around for many, many years. So this is nothing new. But I say to you, the checks that we are making will save lives. That's number one. It will save lives. Again, in the commissioner's brief that is soon to come, you will be able to hear just how many weapons that were taken off the streets, how many cases that were solved just through these same checks that we are having. People are complaining, but it works. It works. And so we just ask you to bear with us. In short order, the traffic division will be launching its Good Driver Award. Because we know we always meet you on the wrong side, or on the bad side, we be issuing a ticket. And so we're looking at the way to come to those persons who are good drivers and to reward them.
He adds that the island-wide checks will occur every month in addition to the smaller scale road checks at various locations. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Ministry of Health hosting a press conference this afternoon in the nation's capital. Health Minister, the Honorable Renwood Wells, giving the latest COVID-19 statistics in the country, including some good news for Grand Bahama, noting that there are no hospitalizations at this time.
There were 10 newly confirmed cases of COVID-19. This brought the total number of confirmed cases in the Bahamas to 7,969. Total COVID-19 hospitalizations currently continue on a downward trend and now stand at 11 from 15 on January the 1st. Currently, there are no COVID-19 patients hospitalized in the Grand Bahama healthcare system. In New Providence, there are 4 hospitalized COVID-19 patients at Doctors Hospital. 4 are moderately ill, and there are no patients in the intensive care unit.
Minister Wells noting that there are 1,429 active cases in the country, 16 new recoveries, and 175 confirmed COVID deaths, with 15 under investigation. The health minister says the government is working to secure the COVID-19 vaccine and to facilitate the distribution. A national COVID-19 strategy plan has already been approved by Cabinet, adding that a COVID-19 vaccine national consultative committee has been established to safely introduce the vaccine in the country.
The Bahamas has presumptively secured enough doses to vaccinate 20% of our population once available. The government of the Bahamas assures its citizens and residents that the vaccines chosen for use will be safe and appropriate for distribution throughout our family islands. The COVID-19 vaccine will be given without charge, without cost, to the Bahamian people. And uptake, acceptance, injection of this vaccine by the Bahamian people will be completely voluntary.
In news from the courts, a man accused of murder was sentenced to 10 years behind bars on the charge of possession of an illegal firearm. The suspect, 27-year-old Fritz Jaffard, was caught with a 9mm pistol and 45 rounds of ammunition. A short time after the fatal shooting of 18-year-old Jilny Fleury and the attempted murder of her younger brother in Abaco on January 3rd. Arraigned before Magistrate Ancella Evans in Abaco, Jaffard pleaded guilty to possession of an unlicensed firearm and possession of ammunition with intent to supply. On those charges, he was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. Now, Jaffard faces 3 other charges as well: murder, attempted murder, and possession of a firearm while committing an indictable offense. He was not required to enter a plea to those charges. Prosecutors intend to fast-track those matters to the Supreme Court by presenting a voluntary bill of indictment on March 29th. Switching gears, CIBC First Caribbean International Freeport branch is relocating. The bank closed its current East Mall location at 4:30 p.m. today, and operations will begin at the new location on Tuesday, January 12th at 9:30 a.m. following the majority rule holiday. The new location is said to be a new state-of-the-art branch on Pioneers Way across from the Grand Bahama Port Authority building. Officials say the bank telephone numbers, email addresses, and operating hours will remain the same. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.